very strange. Apparently I've got wireframes all everywhere. Well done. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4 from right to left.
Okay. You hear me?
I can hear you just fine. How about me?
Yep, it's coming through 5 by 5. 5 by 5? Oh. Tell me what to do.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to get clear so that you've got room to move. First of all, you need to take off your chocks so that you can taxi. Make sure your nose wheel steering is turned on. It'll say NWS, top right corner.
Steam.
Then talk to the tower, assuming you've got the right frequency, which is 226.0.
They removed my chocks, so I'm assuming I have.
That's a great way of testing. Go ahead and with your wings still left where they are, taxi over in front of it, just like what Figmo has.
Okay.
So just gently keep the throttle low. You'll roll quite quickly. There you go. And you'll have a very tight turning in nose wheel steering because the Hornet does actually have quite a tight turning thing. Try and line yourself up prior to joining the white line at up there. And slowly try and see if you can creep along a little slower. There you go. Just slowly keep nosing forward. Eventually it'll feel like you've hit a wall and your Hornet will stop and probably dip the nose down slightly. Just keep yourself centered on that white line. There you go. There you go. Okay, now bottom right corner you'll see a button labelled hook. Don't press that, but down and to the right of that you'll see one that says fold and unfold. Go ahead and click that button.
Oh, I see the hook. Where in relation to that?
Down and to the right about 5 centimeters you'll see a button that says wing fold. It's a little arm. There you go. Okay, here are the procedures for taking off in a carrier. First of all, flaps. Bottom left corner, basically across from the wing fold, you'll see a button that says flap, auto, half, and full. Make sure it is in the half position.
Sorry, on the left you said, on the right, next to the wing fold.
No, left side, across from the wing fold.
Ah, gotcha.
Just below the yellow canopy jettison handle.
Okay, yeah.
Set that to the half position.
Set.
Okay. On Figmo's directive, push the throttle full forward, afterburner included. Wait a few moments, and you will take off. Once that happens, let the nose pitch slightly, and then raise the gear smartly.
Copy.
Okay, Stings, 3-3, throttle forward. Burners on, camp ready. Saluting Deckmaster. Highway to the danger zone.
You just can't resist, can you?
Sting 3-3, airborne.
There you go. Make sure your gear's up. Final bit of dressing. Make sure you put your flaps back in the auto position.
Flaps to auto.
Yes, please.
Sting 0.2.
And because the AI won't fucking move, I'll have to just go to the shoulder catapult, the normal catapults.
Sting 2, this is Sting 3, rejoining your right wing.
Visual. 5 degrees up.
Sting 3 is going to clear the ATC frequency because she's in my headset every 3 seconds.
It's fun, isn't it? Having a great time trying to get any of the catapults to actually engage with me.
Authorized strafing attack on Ghost Dog?
Denied. However, if you want to do something like that, we can do a close supersonic flyby.
Strafing the carrier is considered a very bad thing given that there are several other vessels with SM2 and CWIS.
Yes, but that's my server and I will delete the save file and destroy them all. I am their god.
That's a dangerous attitude to have when you're flying with F-18s. You are their god until you crash into them.
Yeah, then you're their bitch.
Exactly. You're the engineer's biatch.
I hate it when this fucking happens. I've seen it once or twice. It's such a pain in the ass.
Go to all else fails, taxi to the back of the carrier and do a full afterburner takeoff through the whole length of the deck. You'll make it off with full flaps.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if I could, but there are several other people on the deck.
Sting 3 is on Sting 2's right wing.
Yeah, see you. Nice close flight.
This isn't close.
Close for me.
We can get closer.
No showing off, Figma.
No, show off what you like. It's good.
Now I've ruined it.
I haven't used this pit before. It's just like, I don't know. It's uncomfortable because I can't program anything or do anything I want to do.
You can program stuff. Your DED is a numpad underneath where your ICP should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's all unfamiliar. I like the detailing, the scratch marks and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a navy bird, doesn't it?
Hits. Then my first one is the Mirage.
Yeah, it sure does look like a navy bird, doesn't it?
Especially when you've got the cockpit texture done that I have. Okay, if 2 would like to look through the right wing, Sting 3 is a little bit closer now.
Yeah.
Just don't make any sudden turns, please.
Copy that. Kind of love the head motion that they added. You can actually see where they're looking.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I'm starting to get sun through the back of my door, so I'm just going to quickly sort my curtains. Back in a moment.
Okay. Wait, are you trying to refuel? Do you want to get closer?
Don't fucking tempt him.
I spend far too long doing aerobatics for people to say.
I like this is good.
This close enough for you?
Yeah, that's. Well, this says good things about my connection, at least.
Worst comes to worst, and I can't take off with this configuration. I will stand at the elevator and LSO for you.
Roger.
Then I will clear my entire BMS install and redo it. Mandatory 100-hour inspection flight.
Yep. Okay, going with that left-hand turn now.
Mike Beveridge, Sting.
Yep, not engaging on any of the catapults, and I'm very reluctant to go barreling across the entire deck. So yeah, what I'll do is I will hold station at the port side waste catapult. Correction, port side lift.
Gotcha.
Your approach will look thus. Start by intercepting the carrier from wherever you're coming from.
Okay, we're gonna have to go to steer 4 then, so I'm gonna left turn in a second.
No, you directly fly over the carrier. This is so that you can get a feel for exactly which angle the cross deck is at.
Okay, I'm just saying because I have very close quarters F-18 off my right.
Yeah, so Fig will kick it out, give him some room.
Yeah, I can extend, bear with me. If you want to look over your right shoulder, do a cool extend. Here we go.
Recorded this.
Oh, it's okay, I'm recording it.
Nice.
Alright.
I'm gonna head back towards the carrier then.
Yep, make a direct heading for the carrier. Just fly direct for steer 5, I think it is. So the idea is you're going to fly over the carrier, ideally from the stern, and you're going to come in at around about 5,000 feet if you can.
Yeah, I think we're about, what, 30 miles away?
Okay, so head down to 5,000 feet. Point your ass directly at the deck. You're not going to be landing on this approach. This is your mandatory go around basically. So you're going to come in at 5,000 feet and then you're going to start flying the pattern that I've issued. 2, 3, 4 and then back round to 5.
Okay.
The idea is that by the time you get to the 90, which is the turn for final, where you are perpendicular to the runway, you are landing. You're starting at 1,500. You start your final approach at 1,500 feet, and fast enough for the gear to be out, so 250 knots. Also, once you do have your gear down, make sure your hook is down, and of course your flaps are to full.
Full flaps, hook down. Gotcha.
But we'll get your bird set up as we go. Make sure you're familiar with where the hook and the flap are. The hook you've already found, I'm sure.
Got the button in front of me as well.
Yeah, you can physically press the hook button. This is why I was saying you don't necessarily need to have all those buttons bound, but if you've got a button for it, then just understand what it is. Figmo, you should be aiming to be about 1.5 to 2 miles behind Jules if you want to do this by the numbers.
Gotcha.
And this way, the theory is that Jules has that 2 mile time to get off the hook and clear the deck for you to finish your approach. You'll be on final as he is. You'll be on short final as he is clearing the deck, ideally.
Gotcha.
I'm just going to throw my parking brake on to make sure that I don't go anywhere. Okay, so you should have the carrier in sight right now. You should be aiming to fly directly over the bridge, and then you'll be doing a left brake onto steer 2, maintaining 5,000 feet at this time.
Okay, a little low. I'll try and...
That's okay. The whole point of this turn is to bleed the speed down to land it to pattern speed, which is around about 300 to 250 to 300 knots. So go ahead as you cross the deck, go ahead and give yourself a left hand 4G turn, just to bleed the speed off. And pull. Watch your altitude. There we go. And level off. Now you'll notice that you're going to be slightly offset from steer 2 because you're following the deck, the landing deck rather than the actual takeoff deck.
And
Okay, steer 2 then.
Yep. And you've already bled 100 knots doing that. Okay. Once you get to steer 2, pull once again left turn for steer 3. Doesn't have to be too precise. You can, if you're close enough, you can start pulling left for steer 3 now.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
That's okay. I think the carrier's turned relative to the position of the wind, so we may have to be slightly offset for the approach because you're going to be coming in a squint otherwise.
yeah, your heading is roughly around 183 to 180.
Right. So Jules, you're flying heading for steer 2, right?
Yeah, heading steer 2, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the carrier is offset about 90 degrees. This is going to be interesting.
Follow it around and then try and do it visual.
If it helps, turn on your data link because you'll see me at position. You'll see me number 1.
Data link. Oh, yeah, I need to program it. I'm not familiar with the upfront controls.
You should need to program it for just our flight.
Yeah, I'm completely unfamiliar with.
I'll tell you what, I got it.
Okay, big mode's in the turn to steer point 3.
I think you caught me up.
Yeah, just whilst you're messing around with the DED and stuff, I thought I might as well skip ahead of you.
Probably best.
Well, the good news is steer 5 actually gives you a good approach.
Steer point 6 is the carrier, FYI.
Yeah. So yeah, Jules, just make direct for steer 4 now because the pattern's a little bit screwed up because we're travelling northwest instead of west.
Cool. Steer 4.
That's for you, Figmo, isn't it?
Okay, Sting 3 is now what we would call downwind.
Alright, yeah, I see you there. So you're targeting yourself for about 3,000 feet at the 90. You want to start bringing your speed down to a point where you can bring the gear out. I'm looking at you externally for the moment just to make sure.
Roger.
So this turn that you're coming up for, you're going. I believe I may be wrong, but I believe the phrase is that you'll be at the 90 once you are. Well, you're at the 180 right now. I guess you can understand where that comes from.
Yep.
You'll be turning left, and give yourself a standard turn left now. Aim to be at 1500 feet. And be at the and if you in theory, if this is done right, there should be one continuous turn to put you on approach.
That's in theory. Not in practice.
Yeah, because you're still aiming for 1500 feet by the time you're at the bottom here. If this is done right, on your HUDs, the dashed lines should be near the wires.
Gotcha.
Make sure your flaps are down as well, full. Now from now on, you cannot, with the speed that you're at, you cannot be using the speed brakes. It's all going to be throttle now.
Gotcha.
You have more power available doing it that way than slowing the plane down with the speed brake.
Gotcha.
Okay, you're at the 90 now. And this is going to be you setting up your approach. From now on, pay very close attention to the angle of attack indicator. In it. Just like the F-16's HUD, the pattern looks very great when you are level with the landing strip, with the flight path marker on the dashed line, right in the middle of the angle of attack ladder. That is you on speed, on glide slope. If you are not like that right now, adjust yourself so that you are. Okay. Once you have the pitch set properly to keep your flight path marker where I told you, all future adjustments should really be power based. You are going low. Power. Okay, as soon as you touch deck, cut power. You're going round. Right, gear up, hook up, flaps back up. Before you hit 250 knots and break your gear. Figmo gear. Oh, you were about to break them. Bring the hook in. Figmo hook. Alright, try it again. You were coming in a little high there. Jules, you're a fair distance out there. Aim for steer 5 by the end of all this, and that should set you up for an approach.
I'm just over steer 5.
Are you? Okay. Well, you're going to have to do this visually then, because the steer points are totally screwed.
Okay, I'm going to head over towards you. Watch his attempt.
Sure. Figmo, left-hand turn, please.
Left-hand turn.
You're going to cause a crash if you go against traffic. There are AI in this pattern, by the way. You can see them actually on approach. So their approach looks like 145 knots, just so you know.
Gotcha.
What really annoys me though is they seem to want to do a right-hand turn, which is perplexing to say the least.
Okay, slowing to pattern speed. Left-hand turn.
Altitude.
Roger, descending.
Control your speed. Hook. Flaps. Full flaps.
These are, yeah, they're going a bit fast for full flaps currently.
Ah, okay. If you command them to full flaps, so the computer will put them out when they're appropriate.
That's what I've done, yeah.
Okay, these Super Hornets were coming aboard. The AI Super Hornets are coming aboard at 145 knots, by the way, just so you know.
Roger.
Going for an angle of attack about 6 degrees, but I don't think we can measure that really. Right, Jules, you're coming in as well, I see. I'll talk you on as soon as I'm done talking on Figmo.
Yeah, I'm just behind him, just watching.
That's fine, follow him in. You'll be on the next approach. You're free to make a dry pass if you want to as well, but maybe at the speed that you're travelling at, maybe want to think about your flaps, your gear, and your hook, because that will help the Flickus handle that better. Figmo, your buddy Jules is at your right low 7 o'clock.
Jules, if you're going to make a dry pass, I advise coming in to my left a little bit and kind of not hitting the deck and just going along the side of the carrier.
Hey, follow you, fly past.
Because we are close.
Yeah, this would be way closer than you'd want to be flying if you were doing this for real.
Yeah, I just want to look. I want to get a nice close look.
Fair enough.
This is weird. I don't like being this slow.
You should be slower.
But you're hanging in there.
You're also too high.
Yep.
But I'll give you 500 feet. That should be enough to correct you. All right, that's on speed, or it should be there or thereabouts. Take the turn gently, because you're going to bleed a ton of altitude if you're not smart about it. All right, start considering the standard turn. That should get you onto the slope. What's your altitude? What's your speed as you turn?
Yep, I've got the JHMCF and monitoring speed and altitude whilst I hit the carrier.
Very good. All right, that's looking good. A little fast, but you're doing okay.
Yep, starting.
You can adjust your speed once you're done with the turn if it helps. I know you'll probably prefer having a little throttle on as you make the turn.
Just a little bit, trying to maintain a 2.5 degrees descent.
Technically it should be more like a 5-degree descent for real, but you don't have the markers for that, so we'll work with this.
Yep, well actually I'm 5 knots over speed, there we go. I'm on speed on AOA, which is 6 degrees.
Yep, that's you. So make sure your flight path marker is at the fourth wire, and that should be you.
Roger.
Now, regardless of whether you hit the hook or not, throw the afterburners on as soon as you land.
Roger.
Right, level it out a bit. Alright, looking good. Little high. You're a little left. Alright, you're looking good there. Throw on. Good trap.
Nice.
Hook up. Clear the pattern. If you want to give it another go, throw yourself onto the catapult.
And I can watch him in first.
And just make sure you're clear of the flight deck. Figmo, if you want, you've got a window of opportunity to get on the other side of the bridge. See the lift on the other side of the bridge, the starboard side.
I have, yep.
Pop your chocks on, pop your parking brake on once you're there, just to make sure you don't drift around. Alright, Jules, your turn.
Okay.
And when you're on, if you're on final, I'd like you to turn off your smoke because it's affecting my ability to look at your external view and judge your approach. Thank you. Alright, go ahead and make your left turn now. That's close enough. You're going to want to bleed off a little speed anyway. So you remember what that approach looked like before? Try and do that, but this time stick it down.
Yeah, a bit faster than that.
You giving it another go, Figmo?
Yep.
Go for it.
I'll take a slightly shorter circuit now.
Yeah. Alright, altitude 1500.
Yep.
Right, bring the speed down. About 260, go ahead and pop the gear. Expect a slight pitch down when you do that. There you go. Flaps.
Sigma is launching.
Flaps forward.
Hook.
Hook down.
Very good.
Is that you?
Yeah, it is. But it's not me, it's Figmo.
Yeah. The buddy's right. Thank you.
Alright, in short order, you're going to start a standard turn, and if we do this right, you'll finish your standard turn in front of the carrier.
Okay. Standard being...
About the 30-degree tick mark. Is where you have to keep it all together now.
Yeah.
Okay, level it off a bit. We're a little further away than I thought we were. 2D perspective is not so fun. Altitude?
1300.
1500 is what you want.
Okay.
Those 200 feet will make a hell of a difference once you're in close.
Okay, 1500.
Very good. Right, start your turn. Now remember, you're not aiming to be behind the carrier, you're aiming to be slightly off to the right of the carrier because it's an angled deck. Right, try and bring yourself in line with that angled deck now. You might have to bring the turn in a little tighter now. I think I may have given you a slightly later call there. Okay, so just correct slightly left first, we'll need to get you lined up. And watch your altitude. Right, hold that altitude for a moment. Okay, you're still slightly right, so push yourself slightly left of the of your. Yep, there you go.
I'm slightly higher.
I think you are. Okay, small corrections.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Small corrections. There we go. Right. All right. Lift the nose. Lift the nose. Power. 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 You lucky bastard. Right, gear up. Try that again. You ended up a little low at the end there. You okay?
Reset, flaps back up. Can auto hook up here?
Is the jet okay?
Yeah. Missile.
Alright, give it another try. Take a left turn.
Actually, I have a master caution. Ah, avionics. I got avionics full.
You probably just stressed the airframe a little bit. As long as you're still functional, you're good. Alright, take a left turn. Let's bring it in slightly shorter for you so you're not spending too long correcting.
I say it's been 20 years since I've done a carrier landing.
That's okay. I'm just glad I told you to add power, else we would have been scraping you off the back there.
At least I got an idea of it now.
Good call. Big, well, that's going to be a real short approach for you, buddy. You're also way high. Alright, Jules, you can start your left turn now. We'll bring you in a little tighter next time.
Sigma calling the ball.
Alright, you're high and left. You're high and right, rather. There you go. Okay, center up. There you go. Looking good. There you go. 2 traps for you.
Go for 5.
Okay, Jules, bring yourself in a little closer.
Okay, 2.
Thanks, Eds. Okay, let's start thinking about speed.
Speed's 250.
Okay, see if you can bring it down by about 50. Okay, hold that altitude.
Signal lifting.
Come on, climb. Returning to 1500.
Okay.
Speed 223.
Right, target airspeed for landing is about 150, but try not to pay too much attention to the speed, more focus on AOA.
Okay, gear's still set up, so I'll put them down.
Yep. And just bear in mind you can't go any faster than 260 knots with those gear on, or else you'll risk damaging them.
Okay, flaps full, hook down, gear down.
It looks good. Right, altitude's 2,000 feet.
Yeah, bring it down.
Right, we'll give you a longer approach this time.
Okay.
See if that'll help you. Give you more time to get yourself sorted out. Okay, start thinking about your turn. Okay, your speed's looking good. Try and keep your altitude. You need to be a little bit higher up than 1500 this time because we're a little further out.
Okay. Got someone else coming down in front of me.
Yeah, that's great, so you know kind of what looks good now. Just continue it on in, you'll be clear by the time you're on.
Okay, he's pretty close.
Yeah, I know. The AI is pretty good at getting off the hook quick.
What it's programmed to do.
As long as you don't go raging fast, you'll be fine. Okay, finish your turn. Oh, there's another guy there. I see him now. That should still be enough space though.
Very close to him.
That should still be enough space. If it looks like it's gonna get a bit dangerous, we can always wave it off, and you can consider this a practice approach.
Okay.
Like, since you watch the altitude, by the way, I'm at altitude.
Yep.
1,800.
Yeah, Jules, you're low.
Money. There you go.
Yeah, you should be higher than that Hornet in front of you. That's because you're further away. Alright, start leveling with the angled deck.
Within maybe a minute of each other.
That's fine. A minute is good. Alright, now focus on putting the flight path marker on the bridge. Not the bridge, rather the start of the runway.
Okay.
Make sure it's around about the little dashed line, just between the 0 and the 5-degree turn. And then make sure your pitch ladder, your angle of attack, is smack bang in the middle as well. That's what a good approach looks like. You're sinking low.
All about throttle.
Yep. Give me some power.
Got it above now.
Okay, what's your angle of attack indicator saying? How's it? Are you on speed or are you? What's it saying? Should have a green circle next to the left of your HUD.
Yep, it's a green donut.
Okay, good. Flight path marker at the edge of the bridge. Sorry, at the edge of the runway.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good approach then.
Sigma calling the ball, long final.
Okay, add power. Looking good. There you go.
Hey!
Good trap. Clear the way. You've got carriers coming in. Jules, clear. Lift the hook and yeah, get yourself clear. Have you seen the queue behind you, Jules?
Wait on speed, 145, calling the ball. Bit of wind now, having trouble with lift.
Okay, I've got you. You're looking high.
Yeah, I'm slightly high, I'll correct this as I come in. 140 approach, wind picked up, I think.
Good job. Get clear. Get very clear, very quick. That thing landed right behind you.
Right, now go for another short approach.
Okay.
Got my parking brake in the cockpit.
It's the yellow switch just next to your flaps. It turns to the right. It's called emergency brake, it's the parking brake.
Got it, thanks.
No trouble.
Wow, cool. I wasn't expecting to put it down. After 2 attempts, nice guiding in. Now I know how it feels like. You can't really get that without doing it, can you? Now you get the right feel for it.
Sigma lifting.
I'm going to try and get one more takeoff and get 1 or 2 in myself. Need to wait for the carrier for the deck to clear though, because I have to cross it.
Okay, Sigma's going to do 1 or 2 airshow passes before we go for another landing. Burn some more fuel. I'm way lighter than I was at the start, so it's very difficult for it to slow down and get on AOA properly.
Well, make sure you take a hot pit refuel. You don't want to run out on approach.
No, we're out of approach. I'll stop at 3,000 pounds of fuel, which should then leave me with enough fuel to get down. I'm at about 2,300.
Fair enough.
Okay, Jules, you going to go again, or are you going to watch whatever Ghost Dog is doing?
I'm going to watch Ghost Dog for the moment because I'm not going to. I don't know. I don't want to end the session with a crash, and I've landed it, so I'm quite happy with that.
Good. Inbound from your left for first.
Yep.
It's so annoying when it does this.
Are you on the catapult now?
No. I should be well and truly on it, and I'm nowhere near it. Fortunately, this thing has a really impressive nose wheel steering.
No need for 3-point turns in the Hornet.
going to practice that.
Oh. Oh dear. I just got booted out. I'm considered RTB. That's why I wasn't able to take off. Marginally annoying. Alright, I'm back in. With a brand new bird.
Welcome back.
Hey, going for supersonic path. This time I will breach Mach 1. The line is...
You're going to break shit as soon as you do the pull.
Boom!
What's your experience regarding flying? Much?
Who, me?
You seem you've flown a lot, but you were looking to get some familiarity with the F-18 more, or?
I've not flown the F-18 in quite a while, and I'm hoping to do a Hornet flight tonight. So,
Yeah, there is a Hornet up tonight.
yeah, UAF.
Fast we find you in the Mirages. Or the, I think you were interested in trying out the Eurofighters, I guess. But we're not using that.
Yeah, we're not fragging that today though, so. And I cannot get this thing on the hook.
I saw there was problems with that when they were doing the Top Gun thing, when Kraus was in the F-14.
Yeah, it's really weird. It doesn't seem to affect everyone, but given that I'm also having problems seeing targeting pods on loadouts and all this other weird shit, I'm beginning to wonder if I need to maybe do a wee reinstall.
Oh, someone just landed, and they put their nose in your engine.
Yeah, the collision detection on the runway on the aircraft carrier isn't the best. But I think that's a deliberate thing to stop you from accidentally breaking shit.
Excellent. Gonna go for a high alpha pass now.
This is quite frustrating.
I mean, what I'd love to do now is if I get the Hornet to like 30 degrees of AOA and let the engine sit there. However, I'm not going to do that because I'd probably crash because of BMS. There's not like super critical angle attack.
I don't think it calculates it.
No, I remember I went to React once, I think it was 2016, and the F-18 Hornet did this amazing, like almost 70-degree path over the runway.
Alright, bugger this. Figma, you say I can do a full takeoff if I use the entire length of the runway.
You have to be very careful, but yeah, I don't know if you got the tanks on, because last time I did it, I was clean.
Oh dear.
But it may be worth a shot once everyone clears the deck.
I'll bugger it. I want to get some sort of carrier practice, and if I can't get the catapult to work, then I'm going to be pretty knackered.
Okay, I'm coming for a short approach now. I'm on my fuel bingo 3.3.
Sure, it asks for a hot pit refuel when if you want to keep going.
Nah, I think it's my last one. This is my 5th carry landing after all, so. Well, 4th successful, but 5th. I tried 5, so.
Here goes nothing.
See you rising.
Jesus, that's scary as fuck. You have no idea how close I was to pulling the handle.
You. They grabbed a fish as you passed by.
That's what the hook's for, didn't you know?
I saw that ghost, I was like, oh, he's not gonna make it, no! But he did.
I had the throttle on full with the brakes on before I went anywhere.
Yep. Okay, inbound for my last one today. So I get downstairs into the crew room and I drink.
Well, it's good to know I can host 3 people for flights at least.
Yeah, it's fine for practice.
Okay, Figma turning 90, calling the ball. Figma is on speed, 136, slightly slow, let's go ahead and correct that. Short final. Push down. Okay, Ghost, you're cleared in hub.
Good, because I'm landing anyway.
I'll be your LSO for today. Try to help yourself. Miss you coming in, Ghost.
Practice run really, but I'm not going to force it down if I can't. I'm not going to try and force it down, but if it looks like a pass, then I'll take it. Too fast, too high. Correction, too low.
Yeah, add power.
Add power, I'm at 200 knots.
Jesus. Okay, looking good. You're going to overshoot.
Yeah, bolter.
Yeah, you would have caught wire 4 there.
Oh no! Wow. Hey, Hardcore, how's it going?
Okay, gentlemen, that was good.
For you guys, maybe. I had nothing but issues. Like, I am gonna have to do a full reinstall because, like, I'm even looking at the loadout for the Hornet.
Yeah, enjoyed. Thanks for talking me down. That's good. Now I say I have an idea of the feel of it on a correct
Yeah.
glide scope for the carrier.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it's not too hard. It's just the first trap is the hardest.